Tuska is a boar-like goddess who was not the god of anything. Rather, she was more of a mindless beast who managed to attain godhood somehow and grew to an extremely large size. Tuska traveled through the cosmos, destroying any world she would find in her way. Tuska's known history begins in an unknown realm, where she was once part of a herd of simple boar-like beasts. At some point in her life, Tuska managed to kill an unknown god, and then was able to ascend to godhood herself. This ascension to godhood, however, did not provide her any intelligence. Rather, Tuska retained her animal instincts and began to ravage other worlds. Such world was the homeworld of the Airuts, a race proud in the ways of warriors who solved disputes with chaotic psychological warfare. Once Tuska began to ravage their world, many Airuts began to follow Tuska due to the pure strength she showed. An important and notable Airut is Beastmaster Durzag. As more and more time went on, the Airut developed a sort of symbiotic relationship with Tuska, forming much of their armor from her thick hair in order to increase their strength. The Airut also left the mark of Tuska on their victims to show their allegiance to her, as well as part of their psychological warfare. Tuska would eventually meet the hunter god Skargaroth, who would begin following her in order to claim Tuska as a trophy. Later on, Tuska would eventually stumble upon the world called Naragun. Naragun had recently been invaded by the god Saradomin, who demanded that the natives to the world, the Naragi, worship him. The Naragi refused, and thus Saradomin began slaughtering the natives ruthlessly. Once Tuska arrived, however, the Naragi managed to lure Tuska to Saradomin. Saradomin began grappling with Tuska. However, Saradomin was eventually caused to retreat to another realm due to the sheer brutality of Tuska. Soon after, Skargaroth caught up to Tuska, where the two began to battle. Skargaroth managed to blind one of Tuska's eyes, but then Tuska pushed Skargaroth onto a shelter that was holding a Naragi named Ayagi, who happened to be Guthix's daughter. Enraged, Guthix took the Elder Sword and used it to blind Tuska's other eye, causing her to flee, as well as kill Skargaroth. Guthix ascended to godhood and would eventually become the first being to find Gielinor. After the end of the events of the Naragi God Wars, Tuska would roam the multiverse for millennia until finally setting her sights on Gielinor shortly after the assassination of Guthix by the Majorat Sliske. Luckily, a wizard would happen to launch a monkey named Apollo into space and embed a lodestone into Tuska's back. This allowed people to teleport to her. Seeing the threat at hand, four factions eventually bonded together to stop Tuska from destroying Gielinor. The forces of Zamorak, Saradomin, the Godless, and Armadillo fought against Tuska in order to save Gielinor. The representative for Zaros, Soren, hiding in the Shadow Realm, was strictly there for observational purposes, as to keep Zaros hidden for as long as possible. At some point, as Tuska was hurtling towards Gielinor, Virago appeared and punched Tuska twice, stunning her. Virago then powered up a powerful attack with the Anima Mundi, and unleashed his wrath upon Tuska, killing the goddess once and for all. Tuska's limp body hurled towards Gielinor and caused much havoc in Falador, Lumbridge, and the Wizard's Tower. Tuska's corpse is now west of the desert mining camp, lying in an ocean as a source of anima, powering the world window. Tuska's wrath had come to an end. A proud race in the ways of warriors. A race proud in the ways of the warrior, who solved disputes with chaotic Durzag. As more and more went on... Oh boy, that's not good. One such world was the homeworld of the Airut, a race proud in the ways of warriors, who solved disputes and with... One such race was the one such race. I keep on screaming that. It's not. Airuts developed a sort of symbiotic relationship with Tuska, forming body of Tuska. Soon after, Skaggarath managed to blind one of Tuska's eyes, but then Tuska pushed Skaggarath onto a shelter that was holding a refugee Naragi. Wow.